I'm all right. I got used to operating in adverse conditions a long time ago.
Seems like there's more to being a nun in the Favonius Church than Paimon realized.
By royal decree!
Is that Albedo? Why would he hang around a place like this?
The word on the street is he loves sketching. He'll hang around anywhere for a good landscape. The views and scenery here are pretty good. Sketches everywhere you look.
But can't he see those hilly churros? Isn't he in danger? Uh-oh. Looks like we startled them. Enough talk. Let's take them out of the picture first. Someone needs to... Boba, get...
Who are you? Why did you alarm them? Thank the gods I'd already completed my sketch. Would have been a shame to leave these particular hilly trails unfinished.
What's up with sketching hilly churros? What makes them so interesting?
If you'd like to have a look at my sketch, it may give you a clue.
Wow! Look at the detail! But some of it seems to have been done in a hurry.
You can find these hilly churls anywhere. Quite boring, in fact. Not worth closer inspection. But take a look at this specimen. The build, the coat, and there's a distinct force at work here. In the cyclical lives of such primitive communities, such unique attributes are an indication of evolution at work. Evolution, the transition from nothing into existence, from the known to the
Hold your horses. Ugh, something tells me we're in for a thesis and I haven't got the stamina. We found your man. I'm headed back.
What? Don't you have any questions for him? Hey! Ugh, what a weirdo.
So Sister Rosaria brought you. Surprising. And I didn't have time to but back to the point. From her words, it seems that you were looking for me?
Mm-hmm. We met a girl in Mondstadt, Sucrose. She said you were stuck with your research.
I see. So Sucrose sent you here. Then, if I'm not mistaken, you must be the honorary knight. You've got the whole of Mondstadt talking. I've heard a bit of everything. Your actions during Storm Terror's attack, your elemental control, and quite a few other mysterious things. I'll skip to the conclusion. There's only one possibility after all. You came from afar. Excellent. If I could procure your assistance, I think my research would benefit enormously. Forgive me. This must be confusing. Where should I begin? The essence of life?
Whoa, whoa. You want to start with that?
You're right. Giving a demonstration would be better than trying to explain. For example, awakening life. Breathing new life into fallen leaves.
You can do that?
However, I have a particular seed in my possession. The method I'm talking about has produced no results. It's like you, in that it hails from another world. Helping it to grow, to bloom.
Well, if you're struggling to figure it out, Paimon's not sure we're gonna be much assistance.
I beg to differ. I'm unable to comprehend the intricacies of life outside of the known world. But you're not from the known world. By observing and researching you...
Shall we just get out of here? This sounds a little freaky.
It's possible. But I will do everything in my control to ensure your safety. Time for a change of surroundings. We should be going. There's research to do.
Albedo and that traveler seem to have hit it off. Takes a weirdo to know one, I guess. I wonder, does this constitute a risk to Mondstadt?
Has a question. After the seed sprouts, will it grow into anything?
I don't know. But I feel the importance will lie in the method, not the endpoint. Using alchemy to awaken otherworldly life into that would constitute a big leap in my understanding of the essence of life. After awakening, even creation may be possible. Still a little difficult to understand?
No, Paimon's got a brain. But what's the seed gonna become? Isn't that more interesting?
Well, if it turns out to be a delicious fruit, dinner's on me.
Yay! Paimon's holding you to it.
Well, let's just say I, occasionally have to look after a child. Another lengthy explanation, I'm afraid. I suppose it's one of the few... The subject of my first research was the element. How you're able to freely manipulate elemental power is something... Firstly, do you have any extra organs? A second heart? Fascinating. And this floating child is...
What a stupid question! Can't you see the gap between us? And another thing, it's Paimon, not floating child.
I was merely considering the possibility that you were an external organ. Perhaps there... Oh, that rules out that possibility. I wonder... Did Paimon guide the elemental power to you? But that would mean that Paimon's elemental power would be enough to break through a mountain rock at least 10 meters thick. Or cause the waterfall south of Springville to flow backwards. No, that definitely can't be it.
Hey! How would you know anyway?
In that case, it would appear that there's no obvious difference between the composition of your... Given that there's clearly a discrepancy. Firstly, this mysterious elemental power. Let me lure a few slimes to the area. Perhaps...
Huh? Doesn't seem very science.
Direct and clear observation are imperative to a good experiment. Naturally, if you require a greater challenge, we could bring in...
Slimes! Slimes are fine.
Well, prepare yourself.
Steady as stone. Race you! Boba, get them! Oz, reveal thyself! Nice and spicy! Race you!
Great work. Did you feel anything out of the ordinary? If you're injured, I have a few emergency potions ready. Excellent. According to my observations, the manifestation of the external elemental flow is as expected. Elemental reactions are normal. There's nothing out of the ordinary. Now that we know that the external flow is manifesting normally, let's test the internal flow.
Internal flow? How do you test that?
It's very simple. I can use alchemy to create a potion that will extract elemental power. If the elemental power is stored or accumulated physically within your body, this potion may...
Sounds kinda terrifying.
Don't worry. In the normal course of events, you'd feel some temporary queasiness. No bodily injury.
And in the abnormal course?
If anything unexpected occurs, I've made the necessary... Well, it's not that there aren't any risks involved, but just a warning. If an internal elemental reaction occurs for any other reason... Yes, that's an excellent way to think about it. Before we get started, the potion we'll use for the test is missing a catalyst. We'll need to find it. It's a type of ore known as star silver. But I'll take you to my campsite. We can gather some star silver ore on the way. All going to plan, we should be able to begin concocting the potion when we get to the campsite.
Paimon's still got a few safety concerns, but it seems... Let's keep our eyes open.
Here. Should do for catalyst purposes. This one. Usable with a bit of polish.
By royal decree. Nice and spicy. I'll protect us.
What luck. This should be enough. My campsite is just up ahead. I'll lead the way.
Let's dance.
This is my campsite. I've added the materials we collected to the concoction. While we are waiting, have a look over here. My assistant Timaeus here is helping me with my research. I'm guessing you may have met in Mondstadt already.
Hello! I've just gotten hold of the data from your experiment. The report is already up on the board there.
Whoa! Look at all the data! You got all these results from one slime battle?
I wouldn't call them results, inferences, and a few daring guesses perhaps. I think the most rational direction would be to expound on the consider. You don't have a vision, but you can manipulate elemental energy. The slimes don't have visions either, yet they too are able to manipulate the elements. Following this line of thought, I'm sure we'll be able to establish a basis in fact.
Not bad for a point of entry. But strictly speaking, slimes are elemental life forms. In other words, beings consisting entirely of the elements. A cryoregisvine, or even a whopperflower might be a better analogy. But tracing back the phylogenetic relationships between plants and animals, you might have to trace back to the world's origins. In that sense, things might get difficult, don't you think?
Yes, sir. That sounds correct.
After all, we've got our primary data already. This traveler is a visitor from another world. If it turned out that he did have a phylogenetic relationship with this world...
Ah, it would. Apologies. I was so excited to get the data. I'll slow down a bit next time. Speaking of data, to complete our research, we'll need some more. I'll be conducting analysis here for the time being. If you're keen for an update, just come and find me.
Great, I'll leave you to it. Looks like the potion's ready. I'll try a little first. If all goes well, I'll... in line with my expectations. Ready to drink. Remember to keep calm at all times, and breathe deeply if you feel unwell.
If there's nothing better to do, we c- Tasty? You've got a funny look on your face. You said you tried some already. You sure it was ready? What happened to him.
Oh, this was the result I was expecting. And a very positive one at that. This potion channels elemental power into the body. Under normal circumstances, a repelling reaction is to be expected. But if the internal elemental flow is unimpeded, you'll only experience momentary discomfort. Once the flow is complete, there won't be any other effect.
So you knew you'd be sick and still drank some?
It was my own concoction, of course. Only natural for me. But of course, you're my assistant. By all sense and reason, it would be in conclusion, I'd say we have our conclusion.
Aw, Paimon wanted something cooler to happen.
Then again, better an ordinary result than a peculiar result. The good thing about ordinary is that everything is an object of reference, and everyone understands you. People are the same, they can understand, empathize, encourage, and support one another. When you're sick, a doctor can diagnose you because they are you. But a peculiar person, they don't have much recourse for the things we take for granted. The essence of their life is fundamentally different. For example, a human can't understand the life of a Pyro-Regisvine, or an Eye of the Storm. To sum up, this has been a positive outcome. Go, Timaeus. The results of the new experiment are out.
Just a moment, sir. I'll handle it. Oh, you gave me a lot to consider. Really stretched my... Having you down as an animal wasn't very precise of me. But starting with the
Not bad. I think it's an interesting line of inquiry. Whatever the truth of the matter, I'd like your research at the fore as opposed to...
You can count on me, sir.
Is he trying to join the Knights? What Paimon meant to say was...
Before we can proceed with our research, if you're interested, why not have a look around?
Here comes Albedo! Let's go see him! Nice and spicy!
I'm back. Did you see anything interesting? Not to worry. They're all for alchemical purposes. You'd be... well, on with the research. There may be significant differences between different worlds. Take Tevat, for example. But worlds may well exist where only one person is able to do so. Or even everyone. So, leaving elements to one side. Do you possess any... unique? I think answering this question calls for the same methodology as last time. No. You shan't be required to exert quite so much effort this time around. Now, see this pillar here? Use your willpower to try and break it.
You think Paimon knows how to do...
That was your best effort? Have you tried using your elemental power with food? I'm curious to see how the taste and texture respond. I suppose I have a curiosity for things that... Anyway, why don't you cook us up a sunshine sprat? I've just finished preparing the recipe.
Cooking? Paimon...
Not only is this recipe a staple for me, it's also worth experimenting with, and...
Paimon bets you're just hungry. That does sound yummy, though. Okay, Paimon approves. Good buddies are...
I'll leave you to it then. If there...
How are we gonna channel elemental power into the food? Maybe try the willpower thing again.
That was fat.
Where does he get these ideas from anyway? Let's just do it the old-fashioned way.
That was fast. Looking f... An average outcome experimentally, but you've really brought out the flavor. You seem well versed in the science of gastronomy. As far as the proliferation hypothesis is concerned, we've come up short. Seems like food presents the same headaches in your world as it does ours. Unless... Could it be that the natural laws of this world are limiting your unique abilities?
We just didn't know how to channel elemental power into the food. It's a little more complicated than adding herbs and spices, you know.
Not to worry. At least we put some food to good use. No need to feel disheartened. And here's your portion. Enjoy. I can box it up if you like.
Woohoo! Thanks! Glad you were paying attention.
I can tell that you're good friends. Paimon was keeping an eye on you and your safety during the whole experiment. Not that Paimon would have been able to do much if things had gone wrong.
Hey! You were being nice a second ago! But you do have tasty recipes, so Paimon forgives you. And you're right, we are good friends. You have good friends too, right? Good students?
Yes. I'm fortunate too, I suppose. Anyway, moving on to the next experiment. There are all manner of alchemical items here. I managed to retrieve the majority.
Paimon's barely finished eating and you want us to go gathering again?
Don't worry if you can't locate them. I was planning to replace them anyway. Though finding them would save me the hassle. If you had, say, a superpower, like night vision or vibratory sensing, I must have dropped them somewhere in the area where you were looking.
So, guess we'd better take a look. Oh yeah, you could use elemental sight. This must be electrohypostasis powder. The extract of an animo crystal fly can only be animo elemental energy, right?
Goodness, you managed to find them. Incredible. 1,000 thanks. I'm wondering, this elemental sight...
Yep, guess it does sort of count as a superpower.
Unfortunately, though elemental sight is seldom, only a never-before-seen otherworldly power would be...
You mean, we failed again?
Don't be disheartened. This falls entirely within my expectations. Besides, getting these items back, I have to commend your deduction that the items would contain elemental traces. Right then. Up until now, our research has in essence, the differences between humans are reflected in our intellectual and physical capabilities. Let's start with physical. Looking out from where we're standing, can you see what Sucrose is doing? And if you jump from here and landed on that cliff, the one over there, could you see her? So what about if you planted a single blow on the mountain face here, and it burnt? Then I shouldn't get too excited. Still, we'll gain a more thorough understanding with an experiment. I know of a location that will be perfect for a physical test. Please, follow me.
Still in one piece! Good thing the vial's so strong. Race you! By royal decree! Leave it up! Someone needs assistance! Nice and spicy! Eat this! I must leave no stone unturned. Oz, reveal button! Let the show begin! jump? From up here?
Not necessarily. Not if you know of a better method, that is. Whichever method you choose, the experiment will end when you reach the opposite shore of the lake. I will factor the time expended and your top speed into my comparative analysis.
The opposite side of the lake. So, we're gonna be swimming?
Without limitations, we complete tasks intuitively. Some of us would be unable to stand the icy waters. No matter what choice you make, it's all a part of the experiment. Then if you would, please, I eagerly await the...
Wait a minute. While we're busy testing, what exactly are you gonna be doing?
Me? Recording data, responding to risks, providing, emotional support.
So if we do decide to go swimming, you gonna dive in with us?
No. Unless you're thinking of conducting competitive research?
Oh! Forget Paimon said anything.
Great work. I've never seen a performance quite like it. Your reputation precedes you, Traveler. The data shows that you're easily outperforming...
But you followed us the whole way without breaking us.
Me? Actually, I used alchemy to cheat a little. If it turns out that the natural laws of Tavad do not affect you, if the natural laws of Tavad do affect you, then I shall be able to make inferences into the kind of... the innumerable possibilities that this could present, the captivating insights. It would be some...
But how does this help your research?
You've helped me to unravel many of the problems that were holding it back. When we return to the campsite, I may be about to make some analogies between you and a few... gold, petrified trees, a sun 8 times the size of our own. The essence of the investigative process is enthralling, but such feelings... I'm willing to pour all my energy into research, and yet specimens are finite. As all these things that start out as objects of fascination end up possessing the prosaic mundanity of...
Oh, so that's why you wanted to sketch those hilly trails? Because you got to see something new and interesting in the differences between them?
Precisely. To quote my exact words from earlier, these creatures are, for the most part, quite boring, not worth closer inspection.
So after all these experiments, are we gonna be, like, boring to you? Like sketches?
Of course not. You have been of great assistance to me. And now, before we head back to the campsite, there's one more experiment. Intelligence. Follow me. There are some other ruins.
Yeah, get them! no stone unturned. Nice and spicy. I summon thee!
I imagine you must have encountered more than a few conundrums during your trip. I'd like to observe your intelligence by means of a practical test of your... I'd like you to explore these ruins. There are 2 puzzles located at the As with the physical test, there are no restrictions. A tried and tested adventure. So, let's see you in action. Start... It's a complex environment, so proceed with caution.
No stone unturned.
Sealy like these are a common sight in the mountains. Returning them to their rightful places is up to you. It should now be possible to activate the central mechanism. Exactly what will happen when you do is something I'm looking forward to finding out.
Hey! Explaining things is Paimon's job!
Oh, seems that the water level has suddenly decreased. What's this? To the best of my knowledge, these belong to a script of some kind. They can be found all over Teyvat. There's still a lot to learn about. Let me make a copy first. I'll make time to go over them in greater...
Another thing for the don't understand list. Seems like if you want the reward...
I've truly gained a lot from all this. Let me return to the campsite first. By the time you get back, I may just have a fleeting miracle for you to witness.
Paimon's kinda looking forward to see... Unless you can think of...
Not so fast. You're not leaving until I'm convinced...
You! You didn't leave the...
I most certainly did not. And I must say, you let your guards down. Or maybe you were drawn in by his compelling-sounding hypothesis and friendly demeanor. Taking orders from a complete stranger? Drinking anonymous potions? I'd sooner believe you were tricked than that you would be so naive.
Listen, sister. Your guard's so high you can't even see over the top.
It doesn't matter what you think. He could be a saint for all you know. I'm only concerned with one thing. Whether his alchemy has transformed you into something more.
No way! Paimon would have sensed it. And anyway, he didn't even use...
With an alchemist of his level, you wouldn't sense a thing. In any case, I'm not about to let a potential threat back in...
So, what are you gonna do?
I've gotta hand it to you. I've investigated everything else.
But we don't even know what they mean.
That much is true. Not to mention, but for insurance purposes, I'd better make a copy. Now then, all things considered, I deem that... Which is what I was hoping. I would have been one very...
Overtime?
Before we go our separate ways, Outlander, a word of advice. Don't be so quick to trust Albedo, and don't repeat the same mistakes that you did this time. You made a lot of rash decisions today.
She's gone! So stubborn. Mondstadt doesn't have many people like that. Huh. Never mind her. Let's go see Albedo.
You're back. Good. You took quite a while. Did you get help? Time for the results. But the integral preliminary conclusion that I can offer you...
You couldn't tell that just... We spent all day working our butt...
Please, I understand that this may have seemed... Have you ever considered that the world of Teyvat may have an... I mentioned the natural laws of this world. The only other life form that... But... After I observed... Imitating you helped to inspire my alchemy. And so...
Whoa! It looks like something's appearing!
The transition from nothing into something, from shoot to stem, is not nurturing other world. It would seem that that's as far as we go.
Paimon thought, with all our efforts...
Life is a manifold tapestry of free entities. A short life can be well lived. So, do you understand what I meant about us?
Things feel a little... Don't be sad. You've got Paimon. Albedo, Paimon really wants to be your friend.
Thank you both. Even if dispelling loneliness is not essential, your help inspired me to discover the means to make a flower bloom. I mean, in the future, if the need arises, well... I made a point throughout of telling him how ordinary the result... And what was that sediment I saw forming at the bottom of the vial? Those born of Earth are bound by its imperfections. But those born of chalk, if, one day, I lose control, can I rely on you to stop me?